The views and opinions expressed by the On the Spot with David Rodgers show are solely based on the show's hosts, guests, and viewers. We are solely responsible for all show content in its entirety and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of any sponsors in any way. These broadcasts are presented and made public by the On the Spot with David Rodgers team in the hope that it will be entertaining and informative to our viewers and listening audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's 7 o'clock and time for On the Spot with David Rodgers. And now, here he is, Mr. Friday Night, the show pony himself, the man, the dream, the legendary David Rodgers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers and Mitchell Gunner. Great to have you along. Tonight's show sponsored by Mitchell Gunner Racing. Be sure to follow our favorite NHRA Division II Summit ET Sportsman Racer as he tears up the tracks in the southeastern U.S. And by the Fantastic Fire Brigade. Have a real fire engine or ladder truck or both. Come out to your special event. Kids, teens, adults, corporate events, tailgating. One call does it all. Find the Fantastic Fire Brigade on Facebook or www.fantasticfire.com. Let's get the show started as we always do with our prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic quote of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's bow our heads. Our righteous Heavenly Father, let us once again for a wonderful and glorious day you've given us, dear Lord. Thank you for this time that we can get together with our brothers and sisters here, dear Lord, to do this show, the On the Spot with David Rodgers show, and that you fill us with all kinds of information, dear Lord, as we can disseminate it to our viewers, and let our viewers take it as they please. Thank you for letting us live in the greatest country in the world today, dear Lord, the United States of America, the most powerful and most freest nation in the world today. Thank you again for that. Thank you also for our men and women of our United States Armed Forces, each and every one of them, dear Lord, as they're out there protecting our rights and our freedoms, also against domestic and international terrorism. Please keep a hedge of protection over them and bring them back home safely to their families. Thank you also for our first responders, each and every one of those young men and women that protect us and serve each and every day. Please keep a hedge of protection over them and bring them back home safely to their families as well. Thank you, and keep a hedge of protection and also knowledge and wisdom to everyone that is the front line of America, talking about our farmers, our truck drivers, anybody that keeps America going, dear Lord. Just keep blessing those guys, and just please make sure that we can keep America moving forward. Thank you for the food that we receive each and every day as it goes to the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to thy service. Any spoken or unspoken prayer requests, dear Lord, you touch each and every one of them, because you are the ultimate healer, dear Lord. You are the ultimate comforter, and touch each and every one of them. Again, thank you for this day. Thank you for this great week that we're going to have, and thank you for this great show that we're going to have. And we ask for these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ, and the congregation says, Amen. Amen. Let us stand for our pledge. And I'm going to ask Mr. Michael Heater if he'd lead us tonight.
Indeed.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Amen.
All right, let's get the show started. I do have a quote of the night tonight. I will test not only our viewers, but I'm going to test each and every one of you around the table.
Okay.
Listen up. He who is not angry when there is just cause for anger is immoral. Why? Because anger looks into the good of justice. And if you can live amid injustice without anger, you are immoral, as well as unjust. I will give you a hint. It is a high school in the state of Florida. It's named after, this person is named after a famous high school in the state of Florida. If you know your high school football or basketball or baseball teams.
East Side?
No, but good guess. He who is not angry when there is just cause for anger is immoral. Why? Because anger looks into the good of justice, and if you can live amid injustice without anger, you are immoral as well as unjust.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, you can.
Is it a high school located in Jacksonville?
It is not.
It is not. Okay.
I got two
Okay.
guesses.
All right, give me one.
Bowden.
Okay, no.
The other one starts with a B at Birkenham or something like that.
Okay, good guess, but no. Cece?
I would just be guessing.
Okay.
It's okay, guess.
I would say Riverview High School. I don't know.
Riverview. Okay, good guess.
Go to Michael. I'm still thinking.
Michael.
I'm going through high school.
Wait, did you say
I'm
that the
still
school was
going.
named after a famous person?
Yes, the school is named after the famous
Yeah, so
person.
it wouldn't be.
Oh.
I would have to
Oh.
say.
All the schools.
If I told you what, yes, if I told you where it was at, you would guess it.
They're probably both.
I'm gonna say Buchholz.
You're a great guess. Has anybody gone?
I'm going to say Lee.
You're going to say Lee.
Lee High School.
All right, I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint. It's below Tampa.
But,
Let's go again with a guess.
Wow.
yeah, but holy, whoa.
I haven't been below.
I tell you what, I'll give you another hint. They're always a powerhouse and they're always nationally ranked
Oh, boy.
in high school, generally in football.
I should know this one then.
Oh, that's my area I'm from. I should know that.
I just said below Tampa. I didn't say which side.
Oh, Tim, I'm lost now. I'm lost now.
You're drawing a blank. You know it. As soon as I
know
tell
it.
you, you're
Yeah,
going to know it.
I know it.
All right, I'm going to give y'all give
Okay,
up.
give it to me.
up.
St. Thomas Aquinas.
Oh,
Okay.
If y'all don't know who St. Thomas Aquinas is, he is considered one of the Catholic Church's greatest theologians and also great philosopher.
And apparently pretty good in football.
And pretty good in football. So remember that. I may ask that. St. Thomas Aquinas. All right, real quick. Thank you, Roy Jackson, for joining us. Shirley Bagwell, you back from your vacation? I hope you enjoyed. They went over to the Alamo around Texas there.
yeah.
Texas,
So
yeah.
sounds like they're. Austin says, sorry for technical issues. Saturday night show will be on YouTube as soon as possible.
Okay.
We'll get into that. The show will be on YouTube also. Okay. Xfinity's been giving some problems, I guess. Probably because of the weather. Yeah. Roger Cruz, Brady Rayburn, Billy Jackson, Jeff Goins, Trent Bryant, Samantha Cook, John Garner from Pascagoula, Mississippi, where I graduated. 1, 2, 3. Hello, Alvy.
Hey, just a quick note there. I saw Alvy and Tammy at the Bradford County Fair. He was very excited, and Tammy said that he was definitely looking forward to seeing us tonight, so I'm glad you guys are tuned in.
Well, it's funny that the comment, because the comment says, Alvy watching, never misses a show, and good evening, guys, and good evening to you as well, and anybody else that's joining us.
Can I tell you
So,
a little
absolutely.
about Albie?
Yes.
Yeah, you guys know this.
Yeah.
There may be some new viewers that haven't heard it yet, but Albie is a challenged young man. He's
Yep.
about 5 years old now, and back when he started watching the show, he could not talk.
That's correct.
But since he's been watching the show, he is putting words together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which
That's
which
great.
says a lot, because I'm glad he's watching us and not Yellowstone. Otherwise, we'd have a completely different conversation.
Yeah, or anything in that realm.
Anyway,
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. Or if he was watching, never mind. I was going to say, we was going to get a little past Yellowstone. All right. It's a new month and a new format, so don't go anywhere, because here comes the round table right after these commercial breaks.
Oh, really? I keep forgetting that.
Hey Tornado fans, this is Kurt Miracle of Miracle Automotive and Towing, proud sponsors of Tornado Football. I want to welcome you to beautiful Stark, Florida at David Hurst Stadium, and thank you for letting us be a part of this community. We're here for more than your automotive and towing needs. We're here to be part of Tornado Country. Go Big Red!
This is the all-new roundtable. We go around the region, around the table with the latest news and notes. Let's start by bringing you who this is brought to you by, which is Harry Business in the Deerfoot Plaza, home of the $10 haircut. Call Dave and Company at 904-964-3338. All right, we begin in Columbia County where the all clear has been given following a bomb threat at Columbia High School today at 11:30 a.m. A call was received through the Columbia County Combined Communications Center regarding a possible explosive device at the high school. Students were transported to an off-campus location to be picked up by their parents. A search of the campus was conducted using specialized K-9 teams with the Alachua County Sheriff's Bomb Squad. After an exhaustive search, no suspicious devices or packages were located. Let me add something to that as well. As y'all all know, I do work over in Lake City at a place called New Millennium. Most of the guys and gals that work there, their kids go there.
Yep.
You should have seen the mass exodus out of there today. I'm telling you, 1:30 came around. I think I was the only one there.
I can believe that.
Everybody left to go make sure their kids were okay and everything because, I mean, most of their kids either, go to Lake City or Fort White or somewhere in that area. So, wow, it was, I'm just glad everybody's okay and there was nothing really serious going on there.
Yeah. Well, you could always make tags if no one else is there.
Well, yeah, and that's true. Yeah, that thing. Yeah, you got that right.
Hey, I want to let everybody know, don't forget, the county commissioner meeting that is coming up on the 22nd. This is a very important meeting for you to attend. Yeah. They will talk about the franchise fees again. If you have any feedback that you want to give the commission, this would be the time to do it. This is a very important thing. And also, while we're talking about that, I'm going to try to reach out to the departments to be and find out when we did last do impact feeds and how many houses has been built from that period up to now to show how much money the county has lost by not having those impact feeds in place. And we could be in a totally different realm of things if we had those impact feeds. We probably wouldn't be in the deficit that we are right now.
Yeah, and that deficit is $2 million, right? If I'm not mistaken,
correct.
Or give or take a few dollars, $2 million. So that's a lot of money, Michael and Mitchell, that somebody's got to recoup. And, buddy, it sounds like they're trying to get it out of us again. And, hey, man, we can only keep paying so much before, what'd you say? That blood is out of that turnip?
Yeah, you can only get so much blood out of a turnip.
Yeah, the whole thing is, David, that once these fees go in place, they will not come off. That's the way. If you create a new tax, that tax never goes away. And I just don't want everyone to think it's the commissioners that are there now faults. It's not just theirs. But commissioners way back, they just kept on kicking the can down the road, and now it's biting them really bad.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. All right, over to Marion County, where the National Weather Service confirmed an EF1 tornado touchdown in Marion County over the weekend, leaving widespread power outages, several cars and buildings damaged. No one was injured, but damage is estimated at over $14 million. Good grief.
Yes, indeed. And actually, that wasn't the only tornado that hit this past weekend. In addition to that, an EF0 tornado hit in Putnam County. Putnam County Emergency Management reports that the south end of the county, between Satsuma and Crescent City, saw a tornado move through that area of the county. Fortunately, though, it was over wooded areas and lakes and areas. No significant damage to improved property, and no injuries reported in Putnam County either.
That's great. Great news.
How about this? Waldo Farmers and Flea Market announcement is now open on Fridays.
Really?
Along with Saturdays and Sundays.
Wow.
So,
Didn't it used to be that way at one time, and then they shut Fridays down?
Yeah.
And then now
they had like a couple of things that were open on Friday.
Yeah.
And they closed them a while back. But hey, if you're not working on a Friday and want something to do, head on down to Waldo Flea Market.
Now, I understand that now it's not set in stone as far as the different vendors, so it could be different times. It's just kind of mix and match type thing like that one. But hey, that's still, on a Friday, that's not too bad at all.
That's not too bad.
Man, I just wish someone was there making those boiled peanuts
there's
on Friday.
come on.
Maybe they will now that they're open.
Maybe
I
they
hope
will.
so.
Maybe they will.
Might have to stop by there on the way home from
Yeah.
work and get me some boiled peanuts.
Anything else?
We need to set up and do a show from the boiled
story?
peanut.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a great idea.
And to another local story.
Oh, okay. I thought you had something else there like that one.
No. Let's get back to David.
We're back over.
All right.
The U.S.
David,
Senate
sir.
passed.
Never mind.
The U.S. Senate passed a bill today that would make daylight saving times permanent. I'm glad you brought this. Finally. However, the change would not take effect until November 2023. That's to accommodate public transportation, which is already built its schedules around states that already observe daylight savings time. And I'm going to give you a quiz. Michael already knows the answer. Give me the 2 states right now that are on daylight savings time.
Arizona.
Is one.
Oklahoma?
Alaska.
Colorado? No.
No, but it is out west.
Yeah.
Montana.
Oh,
No.
Out there.
It's not
where-
Montana.
Way out.
Way out west.
Way.
I shouldn't have
Washington?
said.
Way.
Hawaii.
There you go. Hey!
That'll be my next guess.
Senators Marco Rubio and Rick Scott have been pushing for several years to make daylight savings permanent and urge the House of Representatives to take up and pass up the Sunshine Protection Act of 2021 and for President Joe Biden to sign the bill into law.
Exactly.
How about this? Governor Ron DeSantis on today signed a bill to end the Florida Standards Assessment, which is also known as the FSA, and replace it with standardized exams and progress monitoring system. They would do this a couple of times a year.
Yep.
This will also help teachers, parents, and students to communicate a whole lot better between those, whatever they pick, 3 times a year.
Right.
To communicate and try to get the children on the right track.
I always thought Michael and Mitchell and everybody that's here, CC Dave, my main man, that's what I like to call him, always thought that the FCAT was about stupid anyway. Let me tell you why I say that. Let's just say I got Michael Heater here. He's a straight A student all the way through high school. All right. He goes and he takes the FCAT, but he may not be a good test taker.
Right.
He doesn't pass some of the things on the FCAT, but hey, he's got an A+ in algebra. But he may have not have done too good, on the algebra part of the test. I think some people aren't good test takers. I want to see them get away from that a little bit. And I guess, Mike, this is the start of what we're sort of the start a little
The
bit.
standardized exams that they're going to do, I think it's going to be more related to what they're doing in the classroom at the time, instead of just trying to throw everything all together on them at the end of the year, where you don't have that parent to teacher relationship to fix items, and I think this is a great move by our governor to do away with this. I mean, it's been in the talks and discussions for a long time with several school districts, and also with our house up there in Tallahassee debating it, and I'm super glad that it's going to be gone after this year. They still will have to do the FSA this year.
And the other thing too is that's the one thing that when Mitchell mentioned the progress monitoring system, they're still going to have significant exams.
Right.
All right, so don't think that this is just that we're just cutting this off. You're still going to have an end of the year exam that's really going to weigh heavily on the grades. So it's not a complete 180 on the way that the school systems are doing this grading. It's simply taking so much away from the FSA and putting it back where it should be, which is in the classrooms based on production of effort by the students in correlation to the teachers and what they're teaching as it moves forward down the pipe. I think ultimately, I think it's the best thing for the students.
Michael, you're absolutely correct, because our teachers spend so much time in the classroom educating our students, not to learn what they need to learn in classroom, but to study for the FSA.
Yeah,
And
usually
so
happens during that second semester, right after you come back from Christmas break. They are studying for that test.
That's right.
And then what are they doing with their work?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The teachers focus so much on that FCAT or the standardized testing, if you want to call it that, that they forget about their regular.
You want to know why they did that, right?
Because
they're graded
that's
on
correct.
how well their
they
students do through that FSA.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with this, I think that throws that out the window as well.
Yeah, me too.
You know, you can't blame a teacher for a student not doing well in the classroom if that student is not getting education at the house. Education always begins at the house with the parents.
Right.
You as a parent, you have to set guidelines with your kids and boundaries to keep them on track. And I don't think that's a teacher's responsibility if they get someone's child in there and their parents don't care. And if that child's parents don't care, you think the child's going to care?
No, absolutely
Not at all.
not. Absolutely not.
And like I said, the teacher should not be punished for that.
All right, Mitchell, great report. Hey, we've got the weather coming up right after this commercial break.
This weather report brought to you by Austin's Weather Service out of Keystone Heights. Find Austin's Weather Service on Facebook and have a detailed local forecast sent right to you.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Michael with the weather forecast. Thanks to Austin's Weather Service. So a couple of things we want to talk about. We've got a chance of severe weather moving into the forecast, and I'll hit on that in just a moment. But first, let's talk about Dave's favorite topic of all time.
His hair?
The pollen.
Don't bring that up. Oh,
so tomorrow's looking really good. I mean, we got numbers dropping down to 4.2 because of all the rain that we're experiencing. We'll talk about the rain in just a moment. But unfortunately, Byron, David, the rest of you, oak pollen is jumping up. We're looking at 10.6 and 9.8 Thursday going into Friday. Numbers start to drop off again as we get into the weekend. But unfortunately, an oak is the big one this time of year. You know, we were dealing with the grasses and the pine earlier as we went through the winter months. Now we're in the springtime. Oak is the big one that we're having to deal with. Now, the reason why the numbers are low today is because of all the rain that we've had. Look at the regional forecast. We've made a little bit of a change, and I want you guys to take a look at this because you'll see what we're talking about. The all-new regional forecast graphic shows that we have radar imagery overlaid with the temperatures. That big blob there that you see in the Gulf of Mexico, that is moving right up into our area. Temperatures across the region, though, from New Orleans up to Nashville, all the way to Raleigh, in the 60s, 55 in Atlanta because they're going to be dealing with some rain, but Tampa, 74 on the south side of this frontal boundary. Now, that frontal boundary is going to bring us a chance of some severe weather. We're looking at strong to severe thunderstorms this evening through tomorrow evening. More so, North Florida, looking at a chance of the potential tornadic activity, but it's going to be from Marion County south. So those of you in Summerfield and point southward, you're at a greater risk than you would be, say, from Gainesville going north. Tomorrow, southeast Georgia, you get in on the action as well. From Valdosta headed towards over towards the Atlantic coastline, Amelia Island, and parts northward. That's going to be the area under the gun for tomorrow. But again, for tonight, strong winds are expected. Winds are going to start picking up as that blob moves into Florida off of the Gulf of Mexico. Wednesday, we're looking at damaging winds and hail. And again, isolated tornado as that whole weather system makes its way across the state of Florida. We are looking at a potential for flooding tonight and again on Wednesday. For those of you that live in Bradford County, let me give you a heads up. 3 pipes is open. All 3 gates are flowing through the Sampson River. The water levels are starting to manage pretty well. However, with this increase of chance of rain, we're looking at another 1 to 2 inches of rain coming in over the next 24 hours. Something to keep an eye on. There is minor river flooding reported on the Santa Fe River and the St. Mary's River. And if you happen to be going to the beach this week when the conditions improve, watch out for rip currents as well. All that being said, it's the local forecast I know that you guys care about. And here's what we're dealing with. Rain and more rain on Wednesday. Temperature only in the 70s as a result. But then it becomes partly cloudy, making our way through the weekend. So you can see the clouds fade away. The sun makes its return as we head into Friday and into Saturday. Temperatures become more seasonal in the lower 80s, lows in the 50s, rebounding into the 60s as we make our way towards the end of the week. that's the latest forecast from Austin's Weather Service. Dave, we're going to throw it back to you.
All righty. Thank you very much, Mike. That was a great, great weather report. And, of course, we'll bring that back to you there at the end of the show. We've got several things to still go, but I want to acknowledge some people that are on watching. Okay. Sharon Petterprin, thank you very much. Hello to you, and I appreciate it. I finally had to get it cut. It was way too much. So Mr. Dave Holland gave me one of those military cuts, so that's exactly what I got. Shirley Bagwell there in Fredericksburg, Texas. Hello, Shirley.
Okay.
I hope y'all are enjoying your vacation. I know y'all will be coming back soon. Edward Petterprin, good evening, sir. How are you doing? And Doug Lewis says, Dave. Roddy says, hello.
Hey.
There you go.
There you go. So, all right. We are getting ready for our trivia answer. Of course, we got trivia on Wednesday nights at Fun Point. Michael Heater, he is the host over there on Wednesday nights. Starts at 7 p.m. sharp. And then Thursday nights at the Downtown Grill and Stark, I am your host. Now, I want to talk about a couple of things me and Michael's talked about.
Yep.
We want people to go to both trivia. So we're going to do something here probably within the next few weeks where we're going to do a category called Swap.
Yep. That's it.
So, if his questions on Wednesday, we'll take either. We haven't really decided if it's going to be just a full category or just a particular thing. We really haven't decided to that point yet.
Yeah,
but
we're working out the details
that.
on it. So if you come to Wednesday night trivia at Fun Point and enjoy that like that, you could turn around and go back to Downtown Grill on Thursday nights, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, I think I've heard that before. Or it might be a week apart. So
yes.
One week that's this one, and then we swap the following week. We're still working out the details on it, but I am excited to announce that we're adding a new category to Wednesday night team trivia.
All right. What do you got?
Well, in addition to, we've got Let's Visit the Zoo, all about zoo animals, and a great thing like that one. Everyone loves We Interrupt This Broadcast. That's where I give you the year. And I give you the incident, and you tell me some details about what the breaking news story was for that year. And then, of course, You Gotta Be Kidding, which is crazy, stupid laws still in effect in the United States. I give you the law, you give me the state. It's not as difficult as you may think. But by golly, starting tomorrow night, we're bringing back a cult classic favorite.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, name that tune. That's right, we're doing an audio category. We're going to have at least one, maybe even 3 clips of songs. So we'll be giving you the description. You get to identify that song with only 10 notes. I give you 10 notes, and you have to identify the song. It's going to be a lot of fun. We did some testing with it. We played with it last week, not at trivia, but like that one. The people that were playing with it said, holy cow, this is amazing. They love it. We're going to have a blast with it. So the good news is Sammy, who's at the restaurant there, she controls all the music. She's on board with it. We're going to have an amazing time. I would dare say it would be fantastic. And we're going to kick that off tomorrow night at Fun Point starting at 7 p.m.
Hey, I got a question. Are all those songs going to be from Styx?
No. But you never know which ones may appear. No, but on a serious note, though. And actually, and again, and I'll be happy to throw it out there for you, I will tell you that these are all going to be number 1 songs on the top 40. Could be country, could be pop, could be whatever it happens to be. But they will be number 1 songs for a year. I give you the year. It's a number 1 song. You have to identify it in 10 notes or less, and that will be one of the categories that we use every Wednesday night.
And that is Wednesday night over at Fun Point. We've got some things coming up that's exciting on Thursday night. Back to the current event.
Yes.
Hey, current event category. Been leaving that off. Going back to the current event. So, if you don't know what's going on in Russia right now, in the Ukraine, may want to study that just a little bit, right? Or you've been living under this cup. One of the two. So we'll figure that out. So the current events coming up. We're going to do something closer to Michael. We're not going to call it Name That Tune, but we're going to give you some graphics of some bands. So we're going to say, so I may put up Styx, for example. What is the name of this group? What was their number 1 all-time selling song or album? I could give you that as a bonus. So we've got some things coming up as well.
Mike can't play.
Yeah, well, if it sticks, he can.
Like
Yeah.
a lady from Equinox.
There you go. Exactly. So, but also on Thursday night team trivia, we got, and the answer is a category. That is the easiest 5, 7, 9, 11, whatever I decide to do, points that you will ever get. Usually in round 4 category. Maybe first, second, usually the first category in. And tonight's trivia answer for Thursday night is what, Dave? Patrick! And it's in green. Ooh.
I was thinking maybe Patrick Star off of SpongeBob.
Oh, well, we've said that could be. How about Patrick Swayze?
Yeah.
I was thinking Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart. That's right. How about St. Patrick?
There you go.
Yeah.
Look at there in green. It could be anything. It could be all of them. So make sure you go Wednesday night and see Michael, and Thursday night and see me, and you'll have a great trivia fun.
There you go.
Now, here is everyone's favorite segment of the whole show. This is a creation by all of us. Michael has really put this thing together. It is That Brings Back a Little History, brought to you by our great media partners, WEAG, Eagle Country 106.3 FM, Chuck the Merrick Kramer, and Lynn Vellis, who I work for on Friday nights during football season, and the Bradford County Telegraph, John Miller, John Ryan Tillman, Mark Crawford, and of course Cliff Smelly. Here's
An easy. What's the date?
Yes, oh really?
Oh, yeah.
What's the date? How about that? These are the headlines for the Bradford Telegraph in the second week of March. In what year? Fair Association buildings make state budget. New school does not. Jewelry store trading spaces. County considers regulating adult-themed shops. Uh-oh. I guess that hurt your feelings some, didn't it? Was that March of 2018, March of 2019, or March of 2020? Fair Association buildings make state budget. New school does not. Jewelry store trading spaces. And county considers regulating adult-themed shops. Was that the second week of March in what year? Was it 2018, 2019, or 2020? Mike, I'll read the first one. Okay. You can read the second one.
Okay.
And Mitchell, you can read the third one. The Florida legislature's budget included $1.5 million for replacing buildings at the Bradford County Fairgrounds and expanding the Camp Blending Museum, but left out, Dave, the Bradford School District's $39.7 million requested for that new public school.
Absolutely. Hey, a two-story building on West Call Street that was known as Trader Joe's was anticipated to become the new home of Williams Jewelry across from the Bradford Telegraph. Unfortunately, and ultimately, the building had to be taken down, and a new one-story structure took its place.
The Bradford County Commissioners considered amending land development regulations to deal with the sale of adult-themed products. The county had no regulations on the books related to the opening of adult-themed businesses, but according to County Attorney Will Sexton, there has been interest.
I'll be dadgum. All right, Fair Association buildings make state budget. New school does not. Jewelry store trading spaces, and county considers regulating adult-themed shops. Was that the second week of March in year 2018? 2019 or 2020. This is where everybody at home can play, and I'm going to test y'all guys' wits as well. So since y'all did so good on St. Thomas Aquinas, so we'll go ahead and test your knowledge here. All right, Roy Jackson says 2018. Michael,
Okay.
you got him?
Hang on a second. Let me pull up the old
Alrighty.
handy computer.
All right.
Put that in.
2018 for Roy Jackson. He's the only guest so far. Again, welcome into another On the Spot with David Rodgers show. I am your host, David Rodgers. To my left is Mr. Michael Heater, filling in for the Byron Bagwell, who will not be with us tonight. To my right, the local guru himself, the guy that we have created another page for, and he's going to have another show. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. On the Spot Motorsports with David Rodgers, he is going to be your host, Mr. Mitchell Gunner. Back to the right back here, we'll bring her on here in just a few minutes. Just say hello, is going to be his co-host. If everything works out just right, CC Marie. Say hello, CC, to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
There we go.
All right. And our senior producer, Dave Holland, bringing you all these graphics and everything that goes with it.
And he's super.
And he is. And, of course, BJ's sitting in over here on the left. Say hello, BJ.
Hello, everybody.
All right. Here we go. Roy Jackson says 2018. Melissa Cribbs says 18. Tammy Testone says 18. Melissa Cribbs again says 18. I guess she wants 2 entries in. Edward Petterprint says 18. Waiting for the model to answer as well. So I'm going to go around the table. Michael, I can't ask you because you wrote it.
Yeah, that's true.
Just take a guess. 18, 19, or 20?
20.
All right. CC.
Can I give a hint first?
Can you give a hint to our viewers? No.
Darn. Okay.
Do you know? Okay, I will say. Do you know the answer?
Yes.
Okay, give a hint.
Okay. I'm going to assume I love jewelry, so I know a lot about Williams jewelry. And this happened during the big anticipation of the bypass being built. So that would be a really good hint, I think.
Wow, that could be 20.
18, 2019.
All right, so give me your guess. Since you gave all that, give me your guess.
I'm going to say 2019 because that's when we really started talking about it in this
Right.
town.
Okay.
And that's about when Williams Jewelry decided they were moving.
All right, y'all heard Cece, guys. Y'all want to go with her guess with 2019? Seem pretty sure of it. Dave?
She just messed me up.
Yeah, but I know.
I'm going. Let me see. What this is
18,
20,
19, or 20?
I'm gonna go 2020.
You're going to go 2020.
2020.
All right.
I'm probably wrong, but I'm going to go 2018 because I think it took place before the pandemic hit in 2019, and I think there was some things already being shuffled around.
And that's what I was going to tell you. Do you want to change your answer?
No, I'm just
Okay, you're gonna
stick
stick
my
it-
answer. 'Cause
okay.
I'm very competitive against Mitchell, so I'm just gonna go ahead and keep mine because we're different.
Okay.
right
So you
now.
might be right.
I remember that the bypass was supposed to take 3 years to build.
Yeah.
And doing my math, if I'm doing my math correctly, oh, by the way, the model says 2018, Sharon Petterprint.
I figured.
I'm going to go 2018. I really think it's 2018. I'm pretty definite about the answer on that.
Is that because the model took 2018?
Well, that's because everybody else did.
Oh.
But I do like CC's explanation on that, though. It could be 2019.
So
So,
who wrote this question actually?
Mr. Michael Heater.
Oh, okay. Well, that
Yeah.
That's
makes me feel a
that's
lot
a
better
good
about
one.
your answer too. Then.
so.
But watch out.
So-
He'll throw
Now
you-
I will try to trick you though.
Okay,
I have
I'm
done
just
that.
saying, Michael's smiling, and I think it's because I'm right.
All right, I'll bet you that you're wrong.
Okay. We're not trading pinks though. We're, like my car's staying right there.
Okay, are you sure?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
He's already
We'll make a
got your
wager.
keys.
so what do you want to bet? Soda?
I don't drink soda.
You don't drink soda?
No. Aquafina bottle of water for me. I'll get
Okay.
you soda.
All right, I'll bet you an Aquafina bottle.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else has got a guess here?
Said my 20.
Say my 20, says.
20.
Anybody else on the show got a guess? Everybody might said really 2018. I don't think anybody deviated from 18 on the deal here.
man.
You got 2020, right?
No.
You got 18?
Yeah.
Okay. Dave, you got 2020.
I think I got 2020.
Dave may be right. I don't know.
I don't know.
CC may be right.
I think I'm
Anyway.
right.
I remember,
Alright.
We're done.
Well, I don't know. Anyway, all right, we're fixing to find out. All right, I guess that's all the guesses in tonight. I was waiting on Shirley to come in, but so anyway, while we're waiting on Shirley real quick to come in, just a couple of quick things. Legacy Classic Championship Wrestling Show, Bash at the Bar at the Boogerville Hideout in Green Cove Springs, Florida, for this Saturday has been canceled due to some unforeseen circumstances. Pepper got a hold of me today. Sorry about that. She says the next wrestling show will be in April, and she'll give us all the information on that. Also, we celebrated Tornado State Championships. I want to thank Mr. Michael Heater for helping to organize, along with Chris Coffey, the event. It really turned out really well. I'm sorry you couldn't stay, man. I wish you
Yeah,
could have stayed in the
unfortunately, I
gym.
wish I could have,
It
yeah.
rained so hard. We were supposed to have a parade that went around the block there, a couple of the big block
Around the
there.
region,
It rained on their parade, no pun intended.
Yes, it rained on their parade, and we brought the show into the gym. Michael, the gym was pretty full, by the way.
Good.
I got to MC that, so it was a really good time. But I want to thank the JROTC. I want to thank our BHS cheerleaders. Also, the girls' state weightlifting team. They won the state almost a month ago, a little over a month ago. And then just a couple of weeks ago, man, the boys' basketball team pulled off a state championship. So 2 state championships within 3 weeks.
Wow.
That is almost,
Awesome.
I don't care what school you go to. You do that in that time period. I don't know if that's been done, and if it has, it's very seldom.
And that Green Wave volleyball team,
Yep.
their last tournament, they won all 6 sets.
They won all 6 sets. Wow.
Took first place.
Wow. So they're doing really good
They're
as
doing
well.
really good.
Excellent.
And that's only going to help Dave, our regular volleyball team over
right.
at
Absolutely.
with the girls volleyball team at with the Tornadoes. So, look, the girls volleyball team, the girls softball team is doing really good. I think they've only got 1 or 2 losses on the year. They're really playing really well. They're knocking the cover off the ball. If they had any kind of pitching, they would be dangerous. So they're trying to figure out their pitching. The boys baseball team, they need to get a little hot. Track, we're always usually good in, so hopefully maybe we can get a couple of state champions out of that.
Yeah,
and then
Putting some pressure on the football team this fall, aren't they?
yeah, and you just said it right there because spring football is coming up, and Coach Jamie Rodgers and his staff are looking to do bigger and better things. So we'll just see. This could be a start of a lot of great things. And if you've seen my post a couple of weeks ago, I talked about all these championships, and I put it at the very end. Hey, stay tuned for the next episode. You never know where it's coming from.
Yeah. On that, on the those state champion basketball team here
Yeah.
in Bradford County.
Right.
How many of those players are seniors?
3. That nucleus is coming back.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So I don't know if Samson Jackson's going to be coaching it. I think he will, but he wants to concentrate on his athletic director duties. But the McBride boys will have it well in hand. I can tell you that if that's the case. But only 3 seniors on that whole team.
I like the fact that, you know what, if this continues on, we'll be having On the Spot with David Rodgers from Titletown.
Boy, that would be awesome.
Speaking of basketball,
Yes.
I seen something today.
Yep.
That Coach White may be leaving Florida.
He already has.
He has gone to Georgia.
He has gone
So
to Georgia.
It was
It's
a done
official.
deal.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Sure is.
So, we'll go ahead and give the answer. I've just got a couple of little things that I wanted to talk about the Touchdown Club a little bit, Mike.
Right.
I told Jimmy
Look, yeah,
Clark I would.
we'll
So
talk about this.
but let me see. Shirley Bagwell never answered. So, all right,
okay.
here we go. And the answer is, wait for it, 2018. I will take a Pepsi, please, just at your earliest convenience.
Can or bottle?
Bottle will be fine.
Okay.
I love you, CC. Anyway, thank y'all all for joining us tonight. We'll be right back to go over some other things, get into some national things, and talk about some upcoming things right after this commercial break. All right,
Community
guys.
happenings and topics with our own local voice on current events, Mr. Mitchell Gunter.
Sorry about that. back to the round table. What's the scoop? And a little bit of everything. I'm going to turn it over to Mitchell Gunner for just a few minutes. I told you that we was working on several things, several big things. Oh, and by the way, we got several big announcements coming up within the next 2 months. Next month and a half.
Next month.
Next month.
I'm feeling pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
We'll have some big news.
Some big news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
We're kind of waiting on some. We're waiting on some steps at the county and state level. And once that information is released,
maybe we can make an announcement of a sort.
Well, let's.
Maybe
we could.
We'll see. But anyway, what I wanted to say before we left that last segment was, all those guys that said 2018 will be thrown into the hat. Hey, for a drawing at the end of the month for a $25 gift certificate to the Downtown Grill. So everybody that got 2018 there, you'll be put into the big old fire hat. And at the end of the month, we'll draw a winner. And I do believe last month's winner was the White Owl. And he's won it twice now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Roy Jackson's won it twice, and Shirley Bagwell's won it twice now, right?
Yes.
So, hey, you may be the first winner. You can maybe win. Hey, Roy Jackson could win it for a third time.
Could happen.
Hey, it's happened. Who knows? So, make sure you always tune in and play What's the Date, because I tell you, man.
Yep. Could
happen. So, $25 gift card.
Want to real quick interrupt this with some breaking news for those of you that happen to have family or friends who may be traveling this evening along Millhopper Road in Gainesville in the Jonesville area. Alachua County Fire Rescue is reporting a traffic crash where the driver was ejected. That is a fatal crash. The road has been blocked, especially on the westbound side. So it's best that you avoid that area. Again, it's going to be the 11,400 block of Millhopper Road off of 241 in Jonesville. That road is currently blocked by emergency vehicles due to a fatal crash with ejection north of Gainesville towards Jonesville. So some breaking news coming in for that one. So just so you know.
Wow.
So. All right. Thanks again for that, Mike. I hope everybody is going to be all right in that deal there. So, hey, Mike, if you give me a couple of seconds, I want to bring CC in, if you'll let her, and then we'll bring you back on. Mike, Mitchell, we had a great time this past Saturday night. I know you had a great time over at the Gator Nationals. We talked all day long, doing some back and forth texting and doing a couple of phone calls. But we were able to interview. Come on over. I don't bite unless you do. Yeah, so.
I'll leave that alone.
Yikes. All right. Okay. But anyway, we got a chance, me, you, and Mr. Holland. Of course, Mr. Heater was busy. Mr. Bagwell was busy. They couldn't go with us. So was CC as well. So we got to go over to the Indigo Hotel over in Gainesville.
Right. And she was very jealous.
I watched the show, and I was like, darn you, Mitchell. I'm so jealous. Can we just trade places?
By the way, since she's speaking now, this is CC Marie, everybody. She's going to be the newest addition to On the Spot with David Rodgers, but she's going to be on the motorsports side. She's also going to be backing up Mr. Dave Holland, maybe with some of the producing of the show. So, CC, say hello to everybody.
Hi, guys.
You excited? Ready to go?
I'm ready to go. I didn't even know I was going to show up today. I just showed up. I was ready.
Yeah, I wish I would have got a little bit more notice.
I left work in Ocala. I got pulled over.
Uh-oh.
But I made it.
But you did make it.
I did make it, and I didn't get a ticket, thank God.
There you go.
I drive for a living, so that would be bad.
Yeah, that would be. So anyway, we was over at Indigo Hotel, and we set up some guests. And what a great show that was. I was telling Dave and Mitchell that night, and I don't know if you stayed on the whole time, CC, but 2 hours went like that. It was just phenomenal. The producer, old Dave, and Michael probably would have said, hey, man, it was 2 hours. Dave finally had to give me a note. I didn't even realize it because it was going so well. But we had Lyle Barnett on.
Yep.
We had J.R. Gray.
That's
and
correct.
We had Wes Buck from Drag Illustrated on with us. And all three of those guys were great interviews. We were trying to get Erica Enders on, but we went so long.
She went to bed
because, of course, she had a race the next day. But, Mitchell, why don't you get into a little bit of what happened there, what you guys got cooking up, and how anybody that is viewing this show and that is a member of this show could also be a member and a follower of what's coming up. With
Sure. Before we get into what happened over at Gainesville Raceway, if you look up On the Spot Motorsports with David Rodgers, go to the page, like it, and follow us. You'll get up-to-date news, not just on NHRA stuff, but we try to keep up with NASCAR, some of the ARCA news that's coming up. We're going to have a drifting event that will be coming up at the firm. We're going to do our best to cover it. If you want to watch some of the bracket racing live from Gainesville Raceway, we will live stream it as well. I'm trying to work on something right now. I hadn't even got to talk to CC about it, but they have the Race Wars event coming up at the end of this month at Gainesville Raceway, and I'm trying to talk with them and see if we can live stream the event and for them to also be able to share it to their page as well. So haven't heard anything back from them. They sent an email earlier about the event, but it was not the email I thought it was going to be and saying, yes, you can live stream the event. But what happened over at Gainesville was very wet. Thank you, Michael. Yes. It wasn't just wet. It was flooded. They did try on Thursday to dry the track to try to get some of the sportsman racing in. But unfortunately, the track had weepers, and what happened was, with all the rain that they had received on Thursday morning, when the sun comes out, it just steadily tries to lift it up out of the cracks. And no matter how hard they tried to dry it, they could not get the weepers to stop. And you cannot send cars down the track that's got areas where water's coming up, not unless you want some really bad accidents to happen.
Right.
So NHRA, they're not going to allow things like that because their number one thing is safety.
Absolutely.
But, Friday was pretty much the same way. Nothing but rain. A lot of vehicles getting stuck out in the parking lot. And my hat goes off to NHRA. They got a hold of this towing company, and they came out there, and they pulled people out for free Friday. I guarantee you they probably pulled out a good 200 to 300 cars out of the parking lot.
Do you know which towing company that was?
I think it was Roy's. I'm pretty sure that was what was on the truck.
I just would want to give them credit for that because it's really awesome.
Oh yes, it was really great of them to do it. And then on Saturday, with all the weather, NHRA was thinking that the crowd would be
down,
really down. Furthest from the truth. It was packed. Saturday and Sunday was packed. Even though they only got one session of qualifying in for Top Fuel Funny Car, Pro Stock, that's about all everyone got to see. And also Factory Showdown class also was able to get their qualifying in. But your Pro Stock motorcycles, they had Michael Phillips go down. Something happened to his bike, all down the track from the starting line all the way down to the finish. Looking at the track temps, the temps were down to 64 degrees. And if anybody knows anything about drag racing, that is too cold of a track. If you take cars or bikes that's got slicks on them, it will just start ripping the rubber up off the track because the rubber is so tight. It just pulls it up, causes marbles to form all over the track. You probably hear it in NASCAR. When the cars get really high up against the wall, they'll get into the marbles. It's little pieces of rubber balls that's balled up that gets up there and just causes the car to lose control. So they talked to everyone in Pro Stock Bikes, talked to the guys running Pro Modified, and they all said, let's save our bikes, let's save our cars, and we'll just go into Sunday by the way that we finished in points at the end of the season, and so that's how they did it. But I tell you what, we had some records fall. We had Brittany Force set the speed record at 337 miles an hour in Top Fuel. And Ron Capps in the funny car goes 336 in the quarter, sets the mile per hour record. Then on Sunday, all the attention was to the motorcycles because the weather was so great. The elevation was at sea level, with the humidity, and water grains were down to 20%. So when you do that, your bikes, your cars are getting a whole lot more horsepower, about 5% more horsepower into them than what they would be on a normal basis. So we knew it was going to be a record-setting day. So in Pro Stock Bike, Karen Stouffer comes out.
Right.
She runs through with a 668, fastest pass in NHRA history on the Pro Stock motorcycle.
Set right here at the Gainesville Raceway. How about that, huh? That's awesome. So,
also, that wasn't it. She comes back second round, and she lays down another pass at 6.66 with a 5. So that was right there, made everyone go, oh my goodness, how fast are these bikes really going to get? And I'm telling you, that's moving, and her mile per hour was 200.71 miles per hour. So then we got into Pro Stock, started running first round, and of course we follow Erica Anders quite a bit.
Yeah, we do.
She was actually faced with her teammate.
by the way, can I stop you right
Sure,
there?
go ahead.
If Erica Anders or Lyle Barnett is watching, I want to thank them very much for putting stickers on their car on the spot with David Rodgers, and on the spot Motorsports with David Rodgers, stickers on their cars.
That's awesome.
That is so awesome. You don't know how many people walk by those cars. Mitchell told me there was thousands and thousands of people, and somebody actually stopped you and you was able to explain what was going on.
Yeah, when Lyle was putting the sticker on, one of the guys asked him, says, "What's that?" And he goes, "That's a podcast. This is one of the guys that's in the podcast, and they're supporting me this weekend here at the races. If you have any questions, he'll answer it." So the guy was like, "Hey, how do I get on there on the page? How do I like it? How do I follow it?" So I let him know. And so I guarantee you one of those new followers were him and his dad who jumped on. But to get back to Erica real quick, she was faced with her teammate, Bo Butner. And, no one wants to run their teammate.
No.
But unfortunately, they have a couple of cars that they bring, and it happens quite often. Well, Erica goes up there. They stage their cars. Bo Butner is 002 on the tree. Erica was a little late on the tree, not really her normal self. And but they run on down there. She's doing her best to try to catch him, but he gets the win over Erica. But Erica set the record for Pro Stock, and she ran a 6:45 with a 0 at 213 miles an hour.
Wow.
And now that's nothing unusual for Erica because she has done that before. She has set the speed record and the elapsed time record there at Gainesville.
Well, I know when we was talking to Lyle and JR, they brought up that certain deal right there about the temperatures and about how this was almost a perfect lineup for records to be broken all day long in every class there. Mm-hmm. And they were really talking about tuning the car, getting everything computerized up, and what happens? We did have some records fall there.
Yeah, we did. And actually, talk about Lyle. He won first round. Lyle Barnett did. And he ran a 556?
556.
He ran 556 at no, he ran 256 miles per hour. That was his mile per hour. I can't quite remember his ET. I'll have to go back and look. But he done a wonderful job. If you were there, you could see that car, I mean, it lifted up, transferred the weight just perfect, and it ran straight A to B. And I actually sent him a video yesterday of his run from the side of the wall. But unfortunately, his day ended in second round.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, this page, is going to be great.
Yeah, I want you to
me
get
and
into that a little
CC.
bit. Yeah, absolutely.
Because me and her both, we share a love for cars, a love for racing, and we have a love for people. I like to talk with people. I like to conversate. I like to ask them about their vehicle and what's done to it and stuff. And I know she does as well.
Yeah, and CC, you're going to be a great addition, and I know you was going through some things here, but all that's been cleared up now, and I tell you, you're ready, you're focused. He's already told me what you've done about some things that are coming up, and we really want to push this page forward. I see, and we see, should I say, an opening. We talked about this Saturday night after the show, where this page could really take off. There's not many people out there that cover NHRA, not just NHRA, but mainly NHRA,
right.
and NASCAR,
Absolutely.
and things like that. And if we can get this to reach a lot of people, and we're waiting on some more followers,
right.
Once we hit that plateau, we want to hit a 500 plateau. That's where we want to start the show. Once we hit that 500 plateau, which we're about 45 or so, 45
We're
people
working on
away.
it, though.
So
We'll see how close we
It's
are.
only a matter of time.
well, we're hoping that it's going to happen, and we know it's going to happen. But that's the parameter that we set, and once we hit that parameter, you guys are a go.
I think it's good because
We are at 457.
Mitchell is more into drag racing, where I'm into like rally, drift, that type of thing, and I think that it's kind of good because if I was racing, then you know what I mean? We're not racing against each other. When you were like racing against teammates, I was like,
Oh, I'm going to go buy a rally car now.
okay, well, you get a rally
No,
car.
just kidding.
I'm ready. Mine, I'm working on. I have to get a roll cage, single mom life. So I'm working on the roll cage, but it's not required. Door bars, definitely going to have door bars though. But you want to make a rally car. We have until the May 1st. So
No, I can't.
Let's
I can't.
go.
I got it.
He races too
I've
much
got
to get
enough
into
of
a
hobby right
rally.
now. If I went and told my wife, hey, I'm also going to rally race, it will not go over real good. Not with all the things that I already
I don't know.
do.
Your wife's pretty awesome.
But we're covering a lot of different angles.
Absolutely.
We're covering
We
a lot of
totally-
different angles.
We totally are, and I have some upcoming events that I'm interested
Absolutely,
in too.
absolutely.
I know we have the car show coming up on the 26th, and I've actually acquired quite a bit of support from local business owners here, even some in Jacksonville that
Right.
I think by next week I'll have it all together and we'll be able to announce what some of the prizes will be at the, I think we're doing like an auction, a 50-50
Right.
Yeah, we're
raffle.
going to try to auction
Let's
off. this
actually tell me a little bit
certificates.
more about that because I only know what's on the page and we've been talking back and forth, but I've been out of town, so do you
Right.
have any updates on that?
Well, go ahead and let everybody know we're having a fundraising car show at the Florida Cracker Restaurant on the 26th. It will start at 10 a.m. We'll probably get finished and everything wrapped up by 1. Like I said, we're going to have some prizes to raffle off. This is nothing to gain money. All this money is going to go to Amanda Milson, and her dad is a real good friend of mine, and she is fighting stage 4 cancer. And now she does not live here in Florida, and that doesn't matter
Doesn't
to
matter.
me.
No, absolutely.
Her dad's in the car scene, and all of us car people, we're like family. We're always willing to help the other person, and that's what it's all about. And so if you've got a vehicle, a side-by-side, a slingshot, pickup truck,
How about a big
We
wheel?
had
Can I
somebody
bring
talking
a
about-
big
bring
wheel?
your big wheel. I don't
Somebody
care.
was talking about go-karts. I'm trying to get some of my motorcycle, some of my friends do like custom motorcycles. I'm trying to talk them into coming and
Definitely.
making an appearance. There's another event going on in South Florida, but I'm hoping I can persuade them to come to this. Is way better than anything they would be going to anyway.
Right. And well, what we're going to try to do, we got another gentleman. He is working on a poker run for the motorcycles.
Oh, see?
So that's in the works as well. I'll try to get some more information from Dauber Milson and see where we're at on that. And the motorcycles will also be available to win prizes. We're going to have a best motorcycle and top 5 for them. The cars we're going to have best of show, top 10, and possibly top 20 for the cars. So I'm still trying to work on some things, trying to save some money. Gas prices are hitting me, so I can't do it.
Is there any pre-registration, or are we just doing it all there?
We're doing it all that day. The reason why, if the weather turns out really crappy, we can always cancel everything and just move the event back.
Okay.
Hopefully we won't have to do that.
Sure.
I mean, because she could really use the money. She's unable to work. She can't even walk right now because of the cancer. So, it's a really great thing to have people come together and do. And then shortly after that, the next following weekend, we have the car show on the 26th. And then on the 27th, we'll be at Race Wars out at Gainesville Raceway.
Speaking of the 27th, the firm canceled Open Track Day. I didn't know if you got that memo. I was actually planning on attending that.
The Open Track Day?
Yeah, there wasn't enough people that had committed to that, so they had to cancel the event. I think the next one will be June 5th.
Okay. And everything that these guys are saying, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be able to follow on the spot Motorsports with David Rodgers. All this information will be there. We just like to give it to you firsthand. Like Michael, bringing that breaking news. We like to give it to you first. And if we can do it live right here, we know you're going to hear it. You're going to tell everybody else as well. But, hey, all this stuff that we're saying will be on that webpage itself.
Absolutely. We could even create like an event calendar, I think would be super
Right,
handy.
and we actually can do that with the page, and like I said, Race Wars is on the 27th, which is also a car show.
Where is that going to be located?
Gainesville Raceway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they'll have a car show. They're going to have different classes for racing. They're actually adding a couple. That's what the email was about that I got received from earlier. And then on April the 2nd is the Strawberry Festival, which is another car show that I'm heading up for North Florida Chamber of Commerce. Michael's also going to be out there doing some things as well.
Well, with the Fantastic Fire Brigade,
That's right.
trying to bring in a band. Hey, we're going to get into all that here maybe in the next week or so. We're going to really, really push it. It's going to be on our page as well. So, absolutely.
Spring is always really, really
Always.
busy.
Yes,
for everybody.
For everybody.
Because usually the weather's really great. It's not steaming hot, and people can get out and do stuff.
I haven't talked to you guys. Somebody asked me, when is the first live kickoff show that's going to happen? Well, we haven't really discussed that, except we're waiting on some more followers. Mitchell would like me and Mitchell talk. I know we didn't get a chance to talk, but we want to try to get to about 500 followers.
We're getting pretty close.
And we're getting really close.
So if you want to see a show, tell people to like and follow the page so we can get it done a whole lot quicker. And to go ahead and let everybody know what we will possibly do, if it's all right with you, David, we will hold the show possibly on Thursday afternoons because Wes Buck does his show on Wednesday. Joe Costella does his stuff on Mondays and Tuesdays usually.
Okay.
And we want to stay off of the other guy's show.
Yeah.
I like to, work with them on a schedule so we're not, also not bringing on the same people that they've already had as well.
Right.
And so, being out the Gainesville Raceway for the Gator Nationals, I was out there doing a lot of networking more than I was watching the races. So it's a lot of networking, talking to drivers. I talked to Kelly Clocks, runs Pro Stock Motorcycle. I've talked to Clark Papke, which we had on here.
Right.
He's going to get me in touch with Steve Torrance's wife. She does PR for about 5 different teams out there. So if I can get with her, that'd be 5 different people that we can bring on the show. I'm also going to try to reach out to someone that's got some clout in NASCAR. And even if we can't get into NASCAR, maybe we can talk to people who run Xfinity, the ARCA series. Maybe we start there. I know a young man that runs ARCA. He's actually from Daytona.
Right.
And try to bring him on. I think it would be really great. But to go ahead and let people know, the reason why we have NHRA drivers come on, and it's really hard to get the NASCAR guys on because their schedule's always booked. If you look, there's Race Hub on satellite TV. There's 5 or 6 channels on Sirius Satellite Radio. So their thing is always booked. NHRA guys, they're not booked as much. and they don't get.
There's not enough
they don't
media
get the
outlets
clout.
out there.
Right, they
Yeah.
don't get the clout that they
Right.
deserve.
Right.
And I'm not just concentrating. If we can go get NHRA drivers, I'm not only concentrating on the ones who win all the time. I'm also want to concentrate on the ones who has some struggles, or they struggled and they starting to get into the sport and do very well.
Well, I like what y'all have created here, and something that you said earlier in this, as we're sitting here, is you're going after, what'd you say? What was some of that racing that you was starting? Drifting.
More
and
tuner car type
yeah.
thing.
Yeah. I like that y'all are going to be covering everything, and I think that's going to bring the interest of a lot of people to that, especially if you can cover it all.
Right, and Race Wars is right up your alley because it is imported. Most of the cars there are imports, not very many domestic, but it's a good event. I went last year, runner up. I wish I could have won, but
hey, that's the
way it goes.
All right, guys. Well, hey, I appreciate you, Mitchell. Again, hey, looks like maybe a Thursday afternoon. They'll create a time. We'll kick off that first show, and that's going to be coming from a very special studio. Man, I tell you what, you're talking about a shrine of racing stuff? Yeah, it's a shrine, all right. You'll see it as that comes
I got
up.
more.
He already knows to hide everything Travis Pastrana before I get there, because I am a huge Travis Pastrana fan, and he already is like, we're going to just put it all away, because I'm going to be like, I will trade you a one-wire alternator, like, if just for that picture. Like,
hey, but
Michael,
just think, they're coming back this year.
It's happening.
Michael, can you do me a favor? Can you pull up the NCAA men's bracket? Basketball bracket. You do know March Madness is going on, right? College basketball. She's like, well, I'll have to look.
You lost me. It's the only. I'm a motorsport girl.
That's all right. We're going to indoctrinate you, and I'm glad that we're sitting here doing this because, look, Mitchell don't only know racing. He knows football. He knows baseball. He knows basketball. He knows his sports.
But I'm not a know-it-all.
No, not yet. So we're going to make you that. But anyway, the reason that we created this page is because of Mitchell's love for the sport. And we wanted to utilize his talent. It's not that we don't want him on this show. It's we want to diversify and expand our vision and create more opportunities for us through that motorsports page. I think personally that there's a lot more of a chance that we can land a big-time national sponsor or regional sponsor to help us with this show, and all it does is just filter down to everybody because we're one big team.
Well, believe it or not, David, I'm actually going to start reaching out to some companies and say, hey, how many followers do we actually need to get to, y'all having a commercial, paying us X amount of money to have it on the show? We're not looking for thousands and thousands of dollars at first.
No.
We're looking at an opportunity to say, I'm not just, I'm not picking on Jegs, but call Jegs Performance and say, hey, if you would support us at $100 a month, we will add one commercial in of yours on our show. And when you update your commercials, you just send us the new update. We'll throw the other one out and have the new updated one in.
Right.
Same thing. I might reach out to Richard Freeman and say, hey, Richard Freeman, how would you be interested in this?
Right. There's a lot of avenues that we could take here, even from her side and from your side. Y'all can just converge. And like I said, this show's going to be merged anyway, no matter what, because it's all tied in.
We can reach out to Subaru and say, hey, because of the Rally X, Nitro Rally X that they do, say, hey, would y'all like to do a commercial? We put 4 or 5 commercials in there. It'll give a little bit of money, and that money can be used to go to other venues that's further away from here, like in South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas.
There's quite a bit of racing in Atlanta that you already are planning on attending. I don't know if you're doing
Atlanta
it this
Dragway's
year.
gone.
You're right.
What?
It is.
Yes,
It is.
they tore it down shortly after I raced up there for divisional finals.
But there's
Yes,
other
it's
events. I mean, Charlotte is not that far away.
No, there's an event coming up in Bradenton that's like I can't think of what it's called. The muscle car. Did you see the
NMCA? Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's this weekend.
I want to go so bad. Let's go.
Well, you and him, I'll have to talk about that.
We're gonna have to switch subject. We're gonna talk cars all night, so I'm gonna go over there.
Let's talk about b-ball.
This is why we need our own thing.
We're going to talk some basketball, but I want you to
Yes.
keep your ears open so you can
I'm
learn.
gonna learn.
Michael, come on back in.
right.
But first, hey, BJ, come here a minute real quick.
Yes, sir.
BJ, come sit here real quick, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I want to bring in a good friend of mine that I've known for a long time. I've known him through Dave for a long time.
Hey, bud.
This is my buddy BJ
How
right
you
here.
doing?
He's lived in New York for a while, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
lived
sir.
in New York. You're trying to get back down
Yes, sir.
here.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you're a local man from here, but you moved up that way.
Yes,
got
sir.
some things done. Now you want to come back.
Yes,
you and
I
your
do.
family want to come back here.
Yes, I do.
And I want you to look at that camera with that good-looking face, mine and your good-looking face, and say, hey, if there is a place that you know where I can have to rent, tell them to hit us
If
on
there's a place here you all know where I can rent, please get a hold of Dave or Dave Holland or myself.
You can hit us on the spot, 32091 at gmail.com. This is BJ right here. He's looking for a decent place to rent. Him and his family want to come down here, back to Bradford County. What's our saying here? We always welcome everybody back.
That's right.
We want them to be a part of the community. So if you know of a place to rent that's very nice, very decent, and, hey, affordable.
Affordable,
hey,
yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We want you to get a hold of us, Dave Holland, Michael Heater, any of us, and we'll get that message to BJ, and we'll put him in touch with you.
Thank you.
Brother. Love you, man. All right.
Love you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
All right. Michael, come on back in real quick. Let's talk some b-ball here. I don't know if y'all been following the bracket. Just started. We got 4 play-in games that's going to happen between today and tomorrow. The women went to the same thing. It's really the field of 68, even though it's the field of 64, because what they do now is the first 4 in after that 64 team bracket has been named. So you've got 4 other teams that are trying to vie for a spot. Well, sometimes when I play in game, you could be playing for the 12th seed, Mike, or the 5th seed, or the 16th seed. I know there's a game going on right now between Texas A&M Community College and Texas Southern to get one of those spots, and I believe it's going to be for the 16th spot. Michael, it may be on the other side. You may have to drag it over.
They have to, yeah, because I was going to say
So-
they started.
Right, you see the Notre Dame Rutgers
let me see
thing?
if I can
That's
find
going to be tomorrow, March the 18th.
Yes.
They'll play to find out who's going to play Alabama in the tournament.
So
So,
these are the teams that are playing right now: Boise State, Memphis, Connecticut.
no, that are they
No,
playing?
no, that's that. No, you're right. That's on Thursday.
That's on Thursday. Yeah. So, anyway.
This is the men's. This is the men's bracket.
Will it scroll all the way down? Because I know the number 1 seeds are Gonzaga, Kansas, Arizona, and Baylor.
Yes.
Those are your 4 number 1 seeds.
Well, I got 2
Now
on
the
that I've already
number,
picked
the number
for Final
one,
Four.
the number 1. Okay, and we're going to get to that. The number 1 overall seed is Gonzaga. All right. Michael, I know you probably haven't had a chance to really follow the basketball here lately, have you?
Not
But you do
really.
know some about it.
Yes.
And you know some of the strong teams. So, look, you can fill out brackets all day long on this thing to try to win $1 million, but I can tell you after Friday, you might as well take that bracket, ball it up, and throw it in the damn trash because your bracket's going to be busted. Nobody ever has a perfect bracket. I don't think anybody has ever won that $1 million. Come close, but nobody's ever won it because somebody spoils somebody's dreams, and especially some of these smaller teams that's been playing together 4, 5, 6 years. They bring an experienced team in there and can knock off a very talented team like an Arizona or a Kansas or somebody, Kentucky or somebody like that. But anyway, Michael, have you had a chance to look at the bracket at all?
I've looked at it a little bit here,
Okay.
and I will tell you that these guys will vouch for it. Once I stick to something, I stick with
Oh,
it.
he's going to pull the Michigan card on me.
I'm pulling Michigan card, except it's not Michigan this time.
The Michigan State? No? Oh, you okay?
Baylor.
You like Baylor?
Baylor all the way.
You did. You won with them last year.
I did.
They are defending national champs.
They
so
are.
You did.
Baylor's
so
going to do
you like
it.
Baylor?
I think that's going to repeat.
Okay.
It's Baylor.
David, you like Baylor?
I like that.
You like Baylor?
Baylor.
I like that.
Mitchell.
I got Baylor, Gonzaga, Arizona. I don't know who the fourth team's going to be.
Kansas or Kentucky or a Tennessee?
Not for sure.
How about a Texas Tech?
Now, Texas Tech's going to be the one to watch.
Yeah, buddy.
They're
A
the
lot of
ones to
people
watch.
picking
We'll
those guys.
We'll have to see.
Yeah,
That's the three of the
Texas
four.
Tech is good.
I like Gonzaga versus Arizona for the championship, and I like Gonzaga to take it all.
Yeah.
I like Gonzaga. Gonzaga's bad.
Gonzaga's
But what
always-
happens is they get to the championship game and then they choke. I don't know what it is. They should win it every year. But they've been dominant for the last, 20 years? They're one of the
they're
blue
good,
blood programs now. And I'm going to tell you, don't count out Duke. Coach K's last year.
Yeah.
Don't count out Duke. The problem with Duke is they're not consistent to me. And they don't have a very good guard play. You know
kind of
what I mean?
remind me of Florida.
Yeah. Yeah.
1 minute they're hot, and you're like, where in the heck did that come from?
Yeah.
And then the next week you're like, what the heck is going on?
Now, Roy Jackson says he likes Kansas, but we'll talk about this a little bit more next week as the tournament will be in then to the Sweet 16, because after this weekend, there's only 16 teams left. Because you got games tonight, you got games tomorrow, you got games Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Correct.
So that will be down to a field of 16, and then maybe from there, we'll do some picking. How about that? So this will give you a chance to take a look at the bracket and look at the teams.
It's Baylor.
He said,
Who
don't
does
worry about it.
Gonzaga play?
After in the second round,
Right.
Gonzaga plays the number 16 seed. Who was
I'll
that?
tell you.
I forgot who that was now. I had this memorized. Let's see. Gonzaga plays Georgia State. Forget it. They'll crush Georgia State by 50.
Yeah, that's going to be a
Let's see. But they do get an interesting 8-9 matchup. And let me tell you, that's going to be a game to watch right there. Boise State and Memphis.
Yes.
Memphis is playing good with Penny Hardaway as the coach.
Memphis is going to win that game.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what, man. I wouldn't be surprised if Boise State beat them, though. They got some good. They got some good nucleus of players. They got a lot of fifth-year seniors. You're right. It may be too much athleticism from Memphis.
I like Memphis to
and
win.
that number 3 seed right there, what me and Mike was just talking about, Texas Tech. Watch out. Hey, they could spoil Gonzaga's bid there. And you know who else is in that bracket down on the bottom? Is Duke.
Yeah, I'll say Duke.
They've got.
Two.
Let me tell you right now, and Arkansas is in that bracket.
Yeah,
I mean, and I'm telling you, Gonzaga's got a heck of a draw right there.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but I still think they're too strong. I think they're going to get through that. I think
They'll
they'll either
end
beat
up playing
Duke
Memphis,
or Duke.
and they'll beat Memphis.
Caleb Vaughn says Gonzaga all the way. How about that? All right, Caleb, I got you, brother. I got you. So, but anyway, we'll get into some more of those brackets. Should be some great basketball. A lot of great racing going on. Michael, real quick with the weather, and how about do you want to talk about the Strawberry Festival now, or do you want to wait?
We'll wait on Strawberry Festival
next week.
We got some pressing news that's coming in like that. So, folks, I want to go ahead and give you a quick update on the weather. I've updated the graphics. I want Dave to. We're going to get to the graphics in a second. I know people talk about the pollen, so let's knock out the pollen numbers real quick so you can see this. Tomorrow, actually, not that bad. Thursday, check out the numbers jumping up to 10.6, and then of course 9.8 on Friday. So the oak pollen is your problem child right now that we're dealing with. That's going to it's going to hit hard on Thursday. Friday, it'll start to weaken on as we go into the weekend. The pressing issue we're dealing with right now is going to be the storms coming in tonight. We just made this graphic up. I want Dave to throw it up on the screen for you so you can see this. Take a look. This is the latest radar. Stark is highlighted in white. You can see it. And there's a large storm cell that's coming in out of the Gulf of Mexico. So, over Homosassa Springs, that storm cell headed towards Ocala. Further south, Claremont. Tornado warning in effect for the Claremont area south of Claremont. Funnel reported. Doppler indicated. Radar indicating that there is a funnel cloud on the ground. There's also been reports by storm spotters that they're getting some damage reported southwest of Claremont. That tornado warning is set to expire in about 15 minutes or so. That's just the leading edge of what's going to be happening. You can see in the Gulf of Mexico, the arrows that I've highlighted here, the red arrows, show where the stronger storms are moving ashore. They are increasing in intensity as they move towards the northeast. So that storm cell that came in, that's actually moving north of Cedar Key, it's headed for Stark. That's going to be here between 9 and 3 a.m. So we're looking at this particular storm cell to hit probably about 10:30, 10:45. I don't think we're going to see any tornadoes. I really don't. I think we're going to see some straight line winds. Could see an isolated tornado, but further south. So, as you can see, that arrow pointing towards Williston and those areas moving further south. That's going to be the area of concern that we've got, because I think there's more instability in a storm system moving in. So Homosassa Springs, Dunellen, Ocala, headed over towards Crescent City, Daytona, the points further south. Those are the areas that we're concerned about. But I do think we're going to get a decent amount of rain, looking at about an inch, inch and a half of rain overnight into the morning hours. Luckily, it'll start to break up by about 2 o'clock-ish, give or take, tomorrow afternoon. We'll have to see how that plays out here. What does that mean for our local forecast? Well, locally, we're looking at rain and more rain. And then it becomes partly cloudy Thursday afternoon and into Friday. Again, temperatures looking nice. You can see the sun moves in, the clouds will start to break up and fade away, giving us some decent conditions on Friday. I'm actually looking at partly cloudy skies, more sun than clouds the further later in the week that we go. Seasonal temperatures returning on Thursday and Friday with highs in the lower 80s, lows starting off in the 50s, moving into the 60s as we make our way into the weekend. For tonight, if you have a way to track severe weather, whether it's an app on your phone, you have a weather alerting radio, whatever it is, turn it on tonight. Make sure that you get those alerts, especially those areas Ocala South, because I do think that we could see some damaging wind and heavy rain as a result of this system. Bradford County, you're probably not going to get severe weather, at least not a widespread outbreak, but you could see an isolated tornado and some damage. So make sure that your weather radios or your app on your phone or whatever you use to be notified during the night of weather, that it is prepared, that you're set up prepared, and you receive those alerts tonight. That's going to be the latest on the forecast. Dave, we'll throw it back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Michael. I really appreciate it. It's been a great show. I wish Mr. Brian Bagwell was here. We went, we talked a lot of local stuff. We talked some sports, talked some things that were coming up. But Byron wanted me to let you guys know, don't forget what's going on in the Ukraine. This is very, very serious. He did want me to ask you guys and the audience.
Yeah.
He says, the West should take heed to what Putin says, but as far as launching nuclear weapons, he's not going to do it. He's not going to do it.
No.
Why would he do it? All he's going to do, what he wants is the USSR formed back up.
Correct.
That's what he wants, the old USSR. If you remember, he had the Afghanistan crisis back in '79. Did they launch nuclear missiles in? No. The Cuban Missile Crisis. Did they launch nuclear weapons in? No. And he's not going to do it now.
But I will say this. They have been in talks with Cuba about coming there with their MiGs and with some of their Navy ships, and said if they allow them to do that, they will fix their runways in their ports.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what's happening there, because I believe the United States now has repaired and amended a lot of the bad blood between us and them. And I think that Cuba is probably not going to do that. I would not think so.
That's my concern isn't necessarily Cuba. My concern is China. China is really starting to kind of stick their nose into a lot of the Russian the business going on like that one. And the United States has told China, you need to kind of just stay back. And let things kind of play out here. Unfortunately, they are not going to do that, and I'm concerned from my perspective, and I know Byron probably shares this as well, is that if China and Russia decide that they're going to team up, as it were, then that's going to cause even more of a problem across Eastern Europe and into Asia and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be the area that we need to watch, is how does this administration deal with Russia on one hand and then also with China in the other, and how those two could end up putting pressure on both sides of the Biden administration. Not too keen on how this is going to work. I did hear a very interesting conversation on a radio station out of Orlando this morning, and it was, and I think that you would concur with this one, was that the reason why they took these aggressive stances now is because they weren't really sure how the U.S. would react during the previous administration. It was described as an absolute, a chaotic administration, in that the Russians, the Chinese, they never knew what the president of the United States was going to do or say, because he was just so unpredictable, mean tweets and all. And so they felt empowered by this administration because they're not standing up to him. They're just letting them do it. We're still buying the oil. We're still doing everything that we're doing here like that one. Whereas with the previous administration, they were like, yeah, we don't really want to push this guy around. And now the Democratic Party is reaping what you sow. You were the ones that wanted to just play nice and kind of get all cozy with the Russians and the Chinese. Well, this is what it got you. So we'll be interested to see how this all plays out.
You're seeing a lot of Democrats turn on their own party because of
Joe
this.
Manchin
They're starting,
Correct.
big time. They're starting to see, hey, whoa, wait a minute.
Yep.
This would have never happened with the administration before, like you said.
Correct.
And knowing that this administration ain't doing a dadgum thing, you know what I'm saying?
That's the problem.
That's a big problem.
It's not if you're Democrat or Republican.
It doesn't matter.
The weakness is what they see.
Correct.
Right.
And you can't be weak, and like Trump told North Korea when North Korea was talking about their nukes.
Yeah.
Trump goes, well, my button's bigger than yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it quit. And now we got all the trouble. We got trouble with Iraq.
Yes.
I mean Iran again.
Yeah.
We had missiles fired on the consulate in Iraq today. 13 missiles.
Syria's still sticking their nose in the business now again.
North Korea's cranking up, talking about nukes again.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So Russia's talking about leaving our astronaut on the International Space Station.
And that, luckily, that has been resolved this afternoon. The Russian Space Agency and NASA did come out with a joint statement saying that the astronaut Neil, I believe is his last name, is scheduled to return to Earth next week. They are not going to strand him in space or anything like that when he has spent nearly a year in space.
Yes, a year.
And so he's looking forward to returning to Earth, and that will happen on schedule. In an agreement that was reached that is separate from a lot of the political wranglings that's been going on. So there's one positive that's coming out of some of the negotiations that's been happening.
Also,
but you can't be weak. You can't show weakness.
No.
And the best thing they could have done was ship those MiGs to the Iranian Air Force so they could use them from Poland. Poland was okay with it.
Right.
And we are the ones who backed out of the ordeal. And, I just don't understand it. I mean, they're shelling citizens, killing children out in the street.
Yep.
These people are trying to walk out of these neighborhoods. They see them walking, they just jump on the daggone 50 cal or whatever they're using on their tank, and they just mow them down they're nothing.
They are. It's not that it's indiscriminate bombing either. They are targeting
they are
hospitals,
definitely
orphanages,
yes.
and residential areas,
which is against the Geneva Convention,
Yes, that is correct.
big time. And also, don't think Russia is getting that. It's not going like they want it. The Ukrainians are putting up a good fight, and they are kicking some Russian ass in several places. So watch out for the Ukrainians.
Well, Poland,
hey, maybe let me tell you what I'd like to see. I'd like to see them stomp Russia's butt right there, then march their tail all the way up to Moscow and say, "I ain't standing for this garbage anymore. Get rid of that guy."
Well, Poland was on alert. I think it was earlier today, which was night over there, right? Yes. They had launched a missile, and it landed 15 miles from the border of Poland.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. And they went on alert.
Poland and all them other countries realize... I don't think Putin's going to stop with you.
No, he's not going to stop there.
No,
we know he's not going to stop.
See, the thing with Poland is it's a NATO country.
Yes.
Yeah, if he starts stepping into that, now you ain't just got the Ukrainians on your tail. Now you got NATO
everybody
in your butt too.
Right, and I think what's going to end up happening is that and I think what Putin was trying to envision in his mind was that he was going to just bowl over
Yes.
the Ukraine.
Yes.
I can tell you that Georgia was next.
Yeah.
You know, the Slavic states were next.
Yes.
You know, so he was.
The old
he was,
USSR.
Yeah, he was trying to regroup the USSR to become a formidable power.
That's what he's trying to do.
Power.
Yes.
And the problem with that is that when the USSR broke up, that and it became Russia proper with all these individual states, these other states were kind of a pushover. Ukraine had the third largest military in the region during the breakup. So, I mean, seriously.
And the worst thing that we could have done was had them get rid of their nukes.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're going to, if you wanted to invade a country, not that I'm encouraging it, but I mean, Georgia, okay. Slavic state, okay. Ukraine, really? But I digress. Anyway.
My buddy Caleb says, bring the orange man back. I got you. All right, real quick, I've got a $2 bill right here for the panel right here. Okay. If you can tell me who the last NCAA men's basketball champion was that repeated back-to-back.
Oh, that repeated back-to-back.
Yeah, won championships back-to-back.
College.
Yes.
Do
NCAA.
you need the years or just who they are?
Just who it is.
College?
I'm gonna go with Gators.
Kansas Jayhawks.
I'm going with the Gators.
Gators did do it back to back.
Yes, they did.
He was the first one to say it, Dave.
Dadgum you?
2007, 2008.
Yep.
They did it.
And was trying for a third
and the
one.
football.
Chip Noah played for them.
Yeah, don't give him no. Yeah, there you go, Dave. Congratulations.
Well, the only reason I know
two.
that is because I wanted to call Las Vegas and didn't.
So, Autumn Lindsay told me to tell you hello.
Oh, hi, Lindsay.
So, anyway.
Yeah, like our page.
Yes, there you go. Like our page. All right, we're getting ready to wrap up the show. On behalf of the missing Byron Bagwell, Mr. Michael Heater stepped in and did greatly, does our weather. Thank you. We have, hey, back there, BJ.
How you doing?
We have CC back here that's going to be joining Mitchell Gunner on the Spot Motorsports with David Rodgers. Hopefully that show will be kicking off very soon. Our producer, Dave Holland, right along with Mr. Mitchell Gunner, our local guru. Somebody called me the show pony a while ago. I like the show pony, but I like the equalizer better. The equalizer, David Rodgers. God bless you guys. Have a great night. We'll see you next Tuesday. God bless you guys.
God bless.